What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is iBearDog back once again with another Paladins video. This is a Sha Lin, the new champion that was released in patch 37. This is just started playing him. This is actually one of the rank up games that I used so I could get to play him in competitive. So keep in mind, I have not played. I have played a competitive match, but this is not a competitive match. This match does start off a little bit slow, but I did pretty well at the end. I got a couple gold rewards and stuff like that, so it's not going to be the most amazing gameplay. I just thought I would make a video, give you my thoughts on him. And my first initial thought, he has a bow. He must be like Cassie. And he is very similar. He has some, I don't want to say similar abilities, but he has a bow and arrow, so it's hard not to draw that comparison to him. To why they put another bow and arrow champion in the game already, I have no idea. I definitely don't dislike him. I think I could get better with him, and I've seen him used very well. I've gotten, a couple games where I've gotten over a couple hundred thousand damage. So he's definitely is a viable option if you are looking to play as a different damage character or some of the other damage characters that you've tried you may have not liked. I still like Cassie more at this point as far as I'm going to have to pick a champion with a bow and arrow. It's going to have to be Cassie. There's definitely, something to be said about his power. As you see here, his Q, which is his basically plants, and he fires 200% faster, which is awesome. It does a good amount of damage, especially if they're grouped up. You can just sit there and just aim and just go to town, go to work. The way his bow works is a little bit different than Cassie's. You can hold the drawstring back. The longer you hold it back, the more power you're going to have behind it. I believe up to 1,000. I believe that's without aggression or anything like that. His F is kind of a leap back, which basically allows him to go invisible and also puts a dummy. You see me use it right there. And then his right click is I believe, a shot. I don't want to say stun or shock or pushback. I forget the actual term is right now. But you arm your arrow, and then you shoot it. And it's pretty good for that. Overall, he's not too bad. His ulti, I believe you start leaving dummies or all, figments or whatever you want to call them, fake Sha Lins all over the place, and you get to fire up to 50% faster, so you can do some good damage. Here you see me use the Q, drop into that, which is nice, allows you to do a good bit of damage. The one thing that I do recommend is getting Chronos on him for an item. The reason being is his cooldowns for his Q is 14 seconds, at the start, maybe even 15, I believe, without even using Chronos level 1. So it's going to be useful if you go ahead and get stacking a Chronos, obviously depending on what the other team's doing. But because the other team, I didn't believe were doing anything too crazy, I went ahead and got Chronos. I also have Haven. Get a little bit more life sustain since his health is only 2,000, which is very minuscule. And it's one of those things where I think the more time I spend with the champion, the more I'm going to like him. It's definitely good to have a good variety of champions that you're actually really good with. I would like to get really good with him like I am with Cassie. He's definitely an interesting new champion to add to the mix, but I think high-res they should add a little bit, a little bit different characters, two bow and arrow characters, all, back to back. I'm sure they're going to be adding other champions. Maybe they're ready to go with this, Sha Lin already. I'm not exactly sure the situation to why they decided to add this champion in instead of maybe another character or another champion that they have, maybe still working on or whatever else it may be. 1v1 versus Cassie. Cassie is definitely going to win that battle. Same thing with Kinessa with long range. So you have to kind of find that balance between, medium or long range, getting in the action and kind of disappearing out of the action. You see me here messing around with the portals there. I think that is relatively new. I'm not sure if it's in this patch or the last couple ones. But you see here, relatively medium range, trying to get in there, doing some good damage. And also, one thing to keep in mind is his arrows do have a drop off. So the further you get back, you see them just kind of dropping off there. So you got to keep that in mind when you're using them. They do have a drop off range, and they do have a maximum distance that they can actually fly. So you would need to aim up if you're going a little bit farther. So you may want to keep that in mind when you're actually going ahead and firing from a good range here. It's definitely one thing that it does take some time to get used to, and it did take me a second to go ahead and do. And for whatever reason, I decided to kneel there and get murdered by Buck or Grok. I'm not sure which one it was. Let's see. Do I stack anything else here? I don't believe I do. I still have my ulti to use. I probably should have popped it back there a little bit while ago when they were getting a little bit closer together. You see me here just messing around with the portals once again, having some fun on the map. Speaking of which, they actually just did redesign this map, so you'll also see the redesigned map as well. So this is not one of those. They went ahead and I don't want to say redesigned. I would say they touched it up, kind of like how they did with some of the CS:GO maps. They didn't actually go ahead and change anything about the map really. They just, I mean, they did some minor tweaks and stuff, but it definitely does look a little bit better in parts of it. You can tell that they did go ahead and clean up the map a little bit more. And that's nice to see. I wish they would touch up a little bit here. And here I just get messed up by Buck. I try to get away, and Buck was like, nope, I got this leap, and I'm going to leap on your face. Speaking of which, I do have another Buck gameplay that I have recorded. I just have not commentated over quite yet. It's pretty decent gameplay. We're working on that final push. This has actually been a pretty quick game so far. It's only, I think it's going to be a 7-8 minute game here total time commentating. It's not going to be a very long gameplay. I just wanted to get my opinion on Sha Lin out there. You know, I haven't played too much competitive with him. Been kind of playing some other characters and trying to level them up and get some diamond rankings on them, which will be fun. Of course, you know, obviously you want to be high ranked players you can. You see me here just kneel down and just get murdered once again. Unfortunately by that Pip, because you all know how much I love Pip if you've watched my previous videos on talking about Pips in game. I'm not a fan. If that wasn't any indication to how my feeling on the subject for Pip. But either way, you know, I definitely do enjoy them adding new champions to the game. I think as time goes on, just like they did in Smite, they're going to add some really interesting, good characters that I'm going to want to play and want to master. It is a little bit different than Smite in how they decided to do the leveling, which is nice. Just change it up, not keep the same old to the game. But there is definitely a familiarity with the developer. You can tell the familiarity with the game and the game studio that's making it, which is nice. There we go. Finally decided to pop my ult towards the end of the match, which I don't even know why I'd waited this long to pop it. But you know what? That's what I did. I felt like it. And he just that poor Makoa had no way of winning. And it looks like their Sha Lin decided to do something, but it was too late. We already got the victory. Got that W. You guys can see my accolades here at the end, but I do want to thank you all for watching my video. Please go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.